This is 790 Baseball Direct. Direct from the ballpark to your radio. Driven by Texas Direct Auto. Powered by Vroom.
All right, welcome in 790. It's our weekly visit, and grateful to have him here. As always, Astros General Manager James Click joins us here on the Sean Salisbury Show. James, welcome in, and congratulations on a nice 4-1 start. Let me hit this first, and I'm not sure I know the answer to this. Thinking of veteran players, and I know like in football we got 17 games, so you're evaluating every day, every play. Like with an Altuve or a veteran that's been in the league and proven it. Do you evaluate a position or a veteran like that every day? It seems like it would be exhausting for 162 games, but is that an everyday process for you guys?
Yes and no. I mean, you're always paying attention and you're always looking for how guys are doing, but, you know, in terms of evaluation, that's probably too strong a word.
Right.
You know, those guys are evaluating themselves every day, and they're always tweaking things and trying to get better and maintain the elite level performance that they've shown. But, you know, from my perspective, you know, I think evaluation is probably too heavy of a word.
Right. Just constant watching. Okay. So overall, 5 games in on the road trip, instead of breaking up different groups of it, overall evaluation, letter grade for your team so far.
Well, you know me in letter grades.
I know. That's why I'm trying to get you to give me one. Not a pass. I don't want pass fail. I want grade.
Look, I think the guys have done really well. Obviously, tough to get all the way out there to the West Coast on short notice and go up against a very talented Angels team, one that we know is going to be right there with us all season. I thought it was critical to take 3 out of 4 from them. You know, there's obviously some parts of the offense that we'd like to see get going, but at the same time, it's been 5 games. We're 4-1. We're obviously thrilled with the start so far. You know, there are going to be things that are going to go well. There are going to be things that are going to be bumps in the road. But so far, I think that, you know, the pitching especially has been a lot of fun to watch, and guys coming in, getting big outs. It'll be nice once the starters get a little bit more stretched out this next turn or through the rotation. So we don't have to rely on the bullpen quite as much as we have these first 5 games, but can't say enough good things about what those guys in the bullpen have done.
I've been meaning to ask you this, and you mentioned the bullpen, and they've been phenomenal to start, and you mentioned it's just 5 games, but I'd rather have phenomenal in 5 games than not. Going back to last year, when you made those decisions at the giving up prospects to get the bullpen and to help you guys and get you to an opportunity to win the thing, was it the right decision back then to do what you did last year?
No question. No question. I mean, those decisions are always incredibly difficult. And when you are giving up talent to acquire talent, you're always going to focus on what you might lose and as well as what you might gain. And so getting players that not only were going to be able to help us in 2021, but we knew would be here with us in 2022 and beyond, we tried to blend that. And so we got a Graven and a Yimi Garcia, and we knew that those guys are going to be free agents at the end of the year. But we also were going out and getting a Montero and a Maton, 2 guys that we knew would be able to help us out in 22 and beyond. And so making sure that we didn't lose too much of the sight of the future was part of that calculus as well. But when you are in a position like we were in last year, where you have a team that has a chance to win it all, and a very good chance to win it all, it's our responsibility to do whatever we can to make sure that that team has what they need to do that. But we also can't sacrifice the future at the same time. And so striking that balance is always the trick. How do
I learn more about a team? You're the expert at this. So I wonder, is it when you're beating teams let's say you're winning by a large margin, or do I find out more about a team that wins a 2-1 game with a base hit by a veteran like last night, or that isn't played, that were Altuve and Tucker, they haven't got started basically yet, but I'm finding ways to win? Where do I find out more about a team?
Well, this is why we play 162, is because
right.
In baseball it takes a long time to find out about a team. And it's certainly exciting to see different guys step up in different situations, and maybe some guys that you weren't expecting. You know, Dusty always talks about his surprise guys in spring training and early in the season. And we've always known the raw talent that a guy like Jose Siri had. But to see him uncork one 456 yesterday, and then to go out there and get, you know, big hits for us, and to be as disciplined at the plate as he has been, that's the main thing that's jumped out to me over the past 5 games, going back to one of your previous questions, is you know, Siri talked about having a better approach at the plate and not being as aggressive and not being as much of a free swinger, and watching him take key walks in key situations in Anaheim to get on base and allow guys behind him to drive him in, and then to get on base again last night, to run balls down in the outfield. I mean, this guy's got talent oozing out of his body. To see it manifest itself on the field is incredibly exciting.
If I were to tell you at the midway point, this progress, the way he's made, and you get the McCormick depth and getting Jake back whenever that is, if I were to tell you this progress was going to continue to climb at the midway point during the trade deadline, would you tell me center field is now a strength and not a weakness?
I mean, we've always been very high on Jake Myers. We've always been very high on Chas McCormick, and Jose Siri, somebody, again, that the talent was always there, and so the upside was there as well. And could this be a strength of the roster going forward? We hope so, but that's why we want to give ourselves multiple options. Make sure that we have maybe one too many as opposed to one too few, because something is going to happen that is going to upend our plans a little bit. But making sure that we have all those guys there ready to contribute is critical. And I think Dusty's doing a great job of putting them in positions to succeed, you know, putting them in there against particular matchups where they have a better chance maybe than other ones. And so just getting that confidence, getting that little bit of success on the field can go a long way. Well,
this is the first time we've had you on since the start of the season, and we had talked about Pena and big shoes to fill, but man, if you know, 5 games are any indication, and whether he's, you know, hitless last night, but defensively and offensively, sure looks like he's fitting in pretty doggone well and doing his job and doing it without much fanfare. Just kind of, well, he looks like he's been in the league for a while.
Yeah, and that's part of what gave us confidence in him, was that demeanor, that maturity, the way that he carries himself around the veterans. And I'm thrilled for him. We're all thrilled for him getting off to a hot start. You always worry about if you get off to a slow start, does it start to wear on people? Do they start to wonder? And fortunately, he's gotten off to a hot start. There are going to be ups and downs for him. You know, he's certainly had some, you know, some good games, and then he's had some at the plate in particular, you know, some very good games, and he's got some games where, you know, I think he would admit there are some things he needs to work on. But by and large, he's done everything we could have asked for and more. You know, like Siri, his raw athletic talent is on display on the field, and we're certainly excited by what we've seen in the first 5 games.
Astros GM James Click joins us here on 790. James, how tough is it? I know and Steve Sparks, and we're talking with him on Monday, that Jose working on trying to hit the ball the other way. How difficult is it for a guy who is a really good pull hitter to early in the season make those adjustments? It's basically still spring training mode because he doesn't even have that many at-bats, but to hit the ball the other way, how long does the process take for him to buy in and get back to doing what a great hitter does?
Well, with Jose Altuve, it's, you know, you're never going to say it's going to take very long. I mean, this is one of the most talented hitters in the game of baseball, and one of the most talented hitters I've ever seen. You know, I was thinking the other day about when I was with the team in Anaheim last year. At some point, you know, he's in the cage taking batting practice, and he turns around and says that he's going to hit a ball off the National Car Rental sign in right center field. Takes one swing and puts it right off of it, and then says, "I'm going to do that again," and then he does it again. And the ability to control the bat and control the ball like that, to hit, you know, a particular part of the outfield wall that's 380 feet away on back-to-back swings like that. I mean, the guy has an amazing eye and an amazing ability to control the bat, and so if he's trying to work on something, you know, I expect that it'll be the kind of thing that will get figured out pretty quick.
You mentioned at some point, you know, that we don't have to overuse a bullpen. After 5 starts, your thoughts on the 5 starts and the starting pitching, at least after one appearance for all 5 of them?
Well, all five of them did a tremendous job of keeping us in the game every single time, and that's what you're looking for from your starting pitchers. Obviously, Framber and Valdez on game one, just an incredibly efficient, surgical to go through that lineup and to do what he did on opening day. I think set us up for that series because you always worry about an extra inning game or a game when your starter goes really short early in a 4-game series, and then it kind of puts you behind the 8 ball a little bit. For him to go out there and do what he did allowed us to be aggressive and mix and match the rest of that series. And then the rest of them, you can tell that it's still a little bit like spring training in some sense, and guys are not fully stretched out, and sometimes it takes a little extra effort to get through 4, get through 5. But having the expanded roster right now, having a couple extra weapons out there in the bullpen, a guy like Brian Abreu who can come in and just throw 101 miles an hour, these are the kind of things that allow us to piece it together and not ask the starting rotation to do too much.
What's your favorite thing about this team right now?
I mean, they're having fun. That's you can see it out there. They're having a good time. They're a good group. They're a team. They all have each other's back. They're all out there trying to win together. They're all okay letting the next guy win the game, and not trying to do too much when you get up there at the plate, and not trying to do too much when you're out there on the mound. And obviously my favorite thing is that they're 4-1.
Right.
But they're having a lot of fun out there doing it, and hopefully we can keep it up.
I've been often asked this question, so I'm going to ask you because I don't know the answer, because you guys just keep, as you mentioned, you keep constructing teams that keep winning 5 ALCSs in a row. George gone, and now Carlos Correa gone, and you keep winning, you keep doing it. How can you continue to do that? I mean, how difficult is it to keep building a roster that can happen on? Because it's been phenomenal.
Well, I mean, that's the trick of this game, and the system of the game is designed to make that incredibly difficult. Getting to the top is one task. In a lot of ways, I think staying at the top can be even more difficult because you're not drafting at the top of the first round, and you can't access a lot of that top of the first round talent. If you look at the elite shortstops around the game of baseball right now, almost every single one of them was a top round draft pick. And so if you want to stay successful, and if you want to keep winning year in and year out, you have to find a different way to either develop or access that talent. And different teams do it in different ways. The Dodgers do it one way. Tampa Bay does it another way. We're doing it a third way. There are different ways to do it, but that's the real fun of it. And that's a real challenge. There's no simple answer to it. You just have to do everything better than your competitors. You have to develop better. You have to scout better. You have to play better at the major league level. You have to trade better. If you do all those things, you can stay on top. But, getting to the top is one thing. Staying there is a different question.
I would imagine you're giddy about Alex Bregman's start. This looks like the MVP guy getting strength back not only in his lower half, but in the hand-wrist area. It looks like the Alex Bregman we're used to seeing. What a hell of a start for him.
Yeah, I couldn't be happier for him to get the AL Player of the Week. Although, I need to, when I see him, I'm going to make sure I let him know it's only Player of the Half week. It's only 4 games, but no, I mean, look, if he is right, he becomes such a force in the middle of that lineup. And I remember a couple of years ago trying to figure out how to attack him from a pitching plan standpoint. And there are some guys who are incredibly talented hitters, and they have holes and they have ways to where you feel confident getting them out. Alex Bregman is a guy where, if you look at the scouting report, it's sort of like shrug your shoulders, throw your hands up, just try to make a good pitch, because he has such discipline, he has such plate coverage, and he has the ability to damage the baseball when it gets into the strike zone. There's not much more you can ask for from a hitter.
You feel about those City Connect uniforms, man? They're pretty cool, aren't they?
I love them, and it was great to be here on FanFest a couple days ago. Everybody was coming in, decked out in them. Every morning when I walk into the office, I walk through the team store down there in Union Station, and people are already getting those City Connect uniforms. I think they're really slick. I'll probably have to go get a couple for my kids. I'm sure I'll get some pokes and prods from them about, where their City Connect uniforms are. So,
any chance that when we wear them that we can see you in a Click jersey and a hat at the ballpark? Or are you superstitious about what you wear to the ballpark? And
I will. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, we put them on the announcing teams and stuff, so I don't even know the protocol for a general manager. Is it right to wear a jersey and a hat to the game? I don't know if you're allowed, but they look pretty cool.
They do. They do look really cool. From my perspective, especially like a big league jersey, I don't know. I mean, obviously the fans wear them and they love them and they look great, but there's something just for me where if I was wearing a jersey around the players, I don't know. Something about that's not quite sitting right, but look, I mean, those jerseys, they look awesome. All the gear is really slick. I'll try to resist temptation, but you never know.
Right. Now, I'll really have a problem if you put on the baseball pants and the old school stirrup socks and go out there and take BP. Then we're really talking with that jersey on, my man. That would be all-time classic. But you guys keep it up, man. I know one more, and then you're on your way to the team's on the way to Seattle, and then back here for the home opener on Monday. Good start. And as always, we appreciate the weekly visit, and we'll look forward to doing it. And hopefully it'll be about, at that point in time, 7-8-2, 9-2 type of thing, or 10-1. So we look forward to it next Wednesday, my man.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right, James, appreciate it. That's James Click, Astros GM. We'll come back and discuss. And a quarterback in the NFL got paid. Sports Talk 790.